I want more horror games that let me play as unique characters. They either have different abilities from what we typically see from the genre, or at least new scenarios. Games like Five Nights at Freddy's has a security system, as Little Nightmares treats itself as more of a 3D platformer. But these are cases where the change is more drastic. Sometimes the change you need to make isn't as big as you'd think. Sometimes it can be much smaller and younger. Among the Sleep is the first-person horror game that released in 2014, developed by Krillbite Studios. In this game, you play as a toddler. Yup, you play as a little tiny baby named David, who's just learning to walk and can't speak for himself. It's your birthday, and your mother is celebrating with cake. She takes you upstairs to your room as you open your gift. Then at that point, a teddy bear comes out. He starts walking and talking and, oh god, that voice. Does anyone else get Stranger Danger vibes from that voice?
My name is Teddy. Nice to meet you. Hey, what's your name? Unless we reach water with our newly dug well, I think we'll have to bid each other fairly well. Round and round and round, lead someplace very dark.
He teaches you the mechanics of the game. Why does it matter so much that you're a toddler in this game? Well, for starters, while you can sprint, you can only do so until you trip. Your crawl is actually faster than your walk, and climbing around obstacles can be a bit difficult. If you're scared, you can hug your teddy bear as he'll act like your flashlight. After playing in his room, David goes to bed, but he wakes up in the middle of the night to see a strange entity take his bear. After saving him from the washing machine, he wants David to find his mom to keep him safe.
Something's not right. We need to find your mother.
The entire house has been wrecked. Furniture is knocked over and your mother is nowhere to be found. Instead, you find a memory of her followed by a mysterious slide. Going down, you end up in a playhouse in the middle of a dark void. David must find enough memories to reach his mother. Every time you get a memory, you get sent to another world where you must find the next. The game is an absolute treat when it comes to its visual storytelling and world building. Every location is set to scale as if you were the height of a small baby crawling around. Each location you go to feels massive. Even the house you start in seems pretty big. Items with words written on them are in total gibberish because David has yet to learn how to read. No matter the location, whether that be a fairy tale like swamp or a giant library, regular household items and baby toys are mixed in with the environment, and there seems to be a lot of empty bottles in almost every location you go to. The set design and the world they created feels to me like the best part of the entire game. During the game, there are 3 monsters you need to keep track of: the dark figure, Harold, the tree lady, Haida, and the coat figure, Heap. No, I never encountered Harold in my playthrough, but the tree lady and the coat figure I've seen plenty of. Whenever you're being chased, the screen will heavily distort, which makes chases even more stressful. But these monsters are generally easy to avoid, but their constant presence will make you anxious. Overall, this game is a strangely cute and unique horror experience. The environment is well designed, and they take full advantage of the fact that you're controlling a toddler, and despite my comments about Teddy, he does make me feel safe. But now, this is where the review will end for some of you, because we're heading into spoilers. If you want to play the game for yourself and don't want the ending to be spoiled, click away now. You've been warned, you silly goose.
Oh, did you know what happens at the end of the Titanic? Oh.
So, what's going on here? Well, I'm sure most of you can guess that this entire journey was nothing but David's own imagination. When you were running through the playhouse in the void, the painting room, or the strange abstract worlds, it's really just how David is seeing things. This is why many of these worlds feature furniture, household items, and baby toys mixed into them. He's just running through his house, but using his own imagination to help escape the stressful situation. So does that mean that the monsters are just his imagination too? Well, they're just as imaginary as the worlds that he's going into. What I mean is that these worlds are still his home and feature elements from it, as the monsters' appearance are imaginary, the threat is not. Harold, Hida, and Heap are all just David's mother, and how he sees her when she drinks. It's implied that David's mother suffers from postpartum depression. Postpartum depression mainly affects mothers after they have given birth to their child, hence why it's also referred to as the baby blues. She also had her husband leave her. He occasionally comes in to see his child, but obviously the mother has mixed emotions about this. But in the end, what makes things worse was that she never addressed any of these problems and allowed them to get worse, as her only form of coping was getting another drink. Harold is the mother when she leaves the house to supply herself with alcohol. Hida is when the mother is drunk and depressed about her situation, and Heap is when she's hungover after her night of drinking. Obviously, she's got a lot to work through, but it also seems like she's not even willing to admit these problems, so to drinking she goes. At the end of the game, David's mother rips Teddy's arm off as she pushes him to the ground. The visual effect returns, confirming that she was indeed all of the entities that were tormenting David. He goes to the front door where a friendly voice greets him. His father has come to see him and possibly save him from the unhealthy environment he's in.
Did you like your gift? What happened to his arm? Don't worry, we'll fix him up.